Okay, what's up guys? Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to What's Up vlog number 116, I believe it is. This is going to be a tricky one to put together. As most of you will already know, the race we are now watching on screen, I was not able to attend because of a school exam concert for my son, which was brilliant, by the way. Absolutely tear-jerking as a sort of soppy, proud dad moment. Anyway, I've managed to jump in and I'm hoping I'm going to catch or will have caught the final stages for everybody coming over the line. Two reasons for really praying that I've managed to do this. One is that I can make something like an entertaining vlog, and two, because I think that's my best chance of actually being able to sort out some results for this race. So we'll see how we go. At the moment, we are looking at Mohammed Shalaby, and he is 46.8 kilometres into his ride, which means he is now coming up to the end. I'm going to try and clear this up now before we go any further. I do know that Mr. Shalaby is not carrying the weight penalty that was needed in order to put his FTP within the B category parameters. So, very sadly, Mr. Shalaby, this particular performance will not be counted towards league points. I hate having to do this. This is a couple of races in a row now, and I really don't like doing it because quite often these things aren't intentional. It could be that you've basically just forgotten to put the weight back on, but there's no options for me. As with the last race where the wrong category was chosen, which unfortunately meant an instant disqualification. Not for Mr. Shalaby, I'll add. That was for another rider. Anyway, we will. A race is a race, and still, regardless of league positions, we will still watch these riders coming through. And Mahmoud Shalaby, apologies, my friend. Mahmoud Shalaby is an incredibly strong rider and is going to take this one quite comfortably, it would seem. And I'm going to have to click away from the riders before they hit the finish banner, I think. Otherwise, I'm going to get thrown out of the event module. So I'll do my best to keep an eye on everybody. And like I say, I'm hoping we'll get everybody over the line. I'm looking down the timing sheets at the side. It looks like there are some close battles going on. So this will be this. Bjergseth, who is an A category rider, I think he is now he's in second place. I'm going by distance. They're not necessarily in order at the side of the screen here because of the nature of the course and the fact that obviously one person could be in a similar place on the circuit but going in opposite directions. So I'm having to go by distance, and it does look like Bjergseth is going to come home in second. This highlights what a strong rider Mahmoud Shalaby is. We've got, obviously, Mr. Bjergseth here is an A category rider, and obviously he's been reasonably comfortably beaten by Mahmoud, so hence the reasons for needing to apply such a strong weight penalty to Mahmoud for previous rounds. Okay, so we've got Mr. Bjergseth now taking the final left-hand turn to head down the finishing straight to take second place in this race. Great job, my man. The course, incidentally, was the Watopia Three Sisters course, which includes basically the three biggest climbs on Watopia. And if I was going to miss a race, I'm quite glad that it was this one. Having done, obviously, or being involved in the 111 challenge at the time that this race was on, I really wouldn't have relished racing up the mountain. Did you guys go to the radio tower? I'm not absolutely sure. I think you do. I think you go all the way to the radio tower as well. So apologies, I've missed that. But yeah, I would not have enjoyed that, and then being in any fit state to carry on with my 1111 challenge. Right, so Mr. Bjergseth coming towards the line. Let's get ready with my mouse to click away from him. So that's second place for Bjergseth. Great ride, my friend. And next up, I didn't click in time. I was looking to see who the next rider was I needed to click on. Okay, right. go back to me. Yes, so that answers the question actually about whether you rode to the radio tower, because there I am sitting on it as officially part of the event. Right, okay, so because I clicked out the module, I've logged out and gone back in and done a ride with Brett Smith. He's usually a pretty safe bet that he's going to be somewhere near the front, so let's just try and work out now who is ahead of Brett, if anybody, next to come over. Distance-wise, at the moment, it's looking like Brett possibly is the next guy. I really hope I haven't missed anyone. Here's Catherine coming down the volcano, looking strong. I think she's doing very well in the C category, actually. Okay, so, Mr. Backer, where's he gone? Oh, I had him there. Martin Backer, where are you? I think his was the furthest distance. There's Keith, right on the wheel of, who's he right on the wheel of? Oh, I didn't see. There's Frank Storley, also on the volcano. Sorry guys, I don't mean to be ignoring you, but I really need to try and find Martin Backer. I think he's next in line. Jamie Swan also, he's coming out the other side of the volcano, so he's not far from finish. 45.7 kilometres. Nick Taylor also, and where is? I'm pretty sure Martin was further up the road. So we have ODZ at 43.2, and ADZ. And ADZ was chasing Catherine there. Nick Taylor, 46.2. Brett Smith at 46.6. There we go. Martin Backer, 47.2. Right. This, I'm pretty sure, is going to be for third place in the race. Unless I missed anyone. Again, I'm very sorry. I had to log out and back in again. Third place in the race and potentially first place in the B category for the league, with the unfortunate disqualification of Mahmoud Shalabi. And Martin's got a 1 minute 7 second lead over Brett Smith here, so I'll click away from Martin just as he's at the line, so I can stay within the module. Jump back to Brett, see how he's going on. Brett looks like he's only about 45 seconds ahead of Nick Taylor. So, but putting out slightly more power at the moment, so I'm not sure that that's going to be a chase for the line, but we shall see. Ride on Martin. Martin kicking in an aero. Just getting rid of it. Kicking in an aero and dropping into 1 watt per kilogram as he hit the line. So here's Brett. He's now on the final straight as well. And indeed, he's got about 50 seconds over Nick Taylor, so I don't think Nick's going to be able to challenge him, although he did kick up into the close to 6 watts per kilogram for a second there, did Nick Taylor. But Brett, our current B category leader, looking to take a very strong second place. Ride on Brett. What will be difficult is trying to find out where the bonus points are going. I'm going to have to go through everybody's Strava performance and basically try and find that segment and tick off everybody's time and work out which are the best in order to pick up the 2 bonus points. Remember, it was the Volcano KOM was where the bonus points were to be had, which is obviously the last of the 3 rides, so there was no benefit in going out and blasting up the first climb, getting yourself some points and then easing off for the rest of the ride. You had to ride strong but stay strong for the final climb. Here's Nick Taylor now, coming up to the line, doing a fantastic job. So this looks like third place in the B category. Nice haul of points. We've got Jamie Swan, not that far behind, just 11 seconds behind. I'm glad I managed to flick over just before Nick came under the finish line then, so I could catch Jamie's finish. And Jamie's about 1.5 minutes ahead of Frank Storley here, who also is on this final straight. Considering the distance of the race, everybody's actually reasonably bunched together, I've got to say. I'm absolutely gutted I missed this one. Not from a riding point of view, because I don't think my legs can handle it, but just because it looks like it was a really interesting race. And we've got F. Storley and M. Brandt right on him. M. Brandt, an A category rider, so Frank has done a fantastic job just to be up here with these guys. Who's going to have the kick? Here it goes. Looks like M. Brandt's going to have the kick to the line. 4.7, 5.2. Frank's trying to kick in, but I don't think he's got it. Unlucky Frank. That looks like a strong finish for M. Brandt. Good job, man. Oh, he's kicked up again, just in case, because Frank is still there, actually. Less than, well, no seconds behind. So, Embrandt to the line. He's going to hold on. Unlucky Frank, just a handful of metres behind. And just behind Frank, we've got APAT coming in at 4.85 watts per kilogram. And then T-Dial's next to come up to the line. Sorry, I'm having to flick off you guys so quickly. It's because I can't, like I say, I can't go out of the event module. So I'm having to jump away just before we hit the line. Whoa, hang on a second. What we got here? We got John Grenfell. We got, Hansen, David Bryan. David's a bit further back. So it looks like it was T-Dial, John Grenfell, and then S. Hansen in that order that just came over the line just then. Sorry, I missed you guys. That's the difficulty when everybody's really bunched together. So David Bryan's the next to come over, and then we do have a little bit of a gap going back to Brian Roden. I've lost track of who's in which position now, so I'm going to have to go over this video a number of times just to tick everybody's names off. But David Bryan safely over the line. Here comes Brian Roden with a reasonable gap back to M. Evans. I say reasonable, it depends. Well, Brian's putting out nearly 5 watts per kilogram, so I think he's comfortable holding off that 18-second gap with an aero as well, coming up to the line. Good job, Brian. Do you know what's nice? I'm drinking coffee while I'm watching this, and you guys are all sweating out there racing. And I would normally be part of that, and probably in more pain than most of you, despite going a third of the speed of most of you. But there we go. I'm just going to slurp my coffee and enjoy. Okay, so Brian Roden safely over the line. Now we have M. Evans coming up just 20 seconds behind. Good job. Then, right, this is quite a tight battle. We've got ADZ and Catherine Denton. Catherine with an aero now right on the tail of ADZ. Is she going to come past, or is she going to sort of hold off just for a little bit longer? They're on this final straight, so Catherine comes past, rocking the Tron bike and an aero right on Catherine. ADZ matching her power, but not quite able, not able to stay. Dropped off 5 metres, 4 metres. Still just in the draft of Catherine. Catherine's power's dropped down, so has ADZ's. Let's see. Oh, here comes ADZ. He's coming back. Is he gonna nick it on the line? Oh, this is going to be another one of those ones where I'm going to have to flick away and then look at the timing screen at the side to see who stayed ahead. It's Catherine at the moment. Here comes ADZ with an aero now. Oh, I think ADZ's going to come past right on the line. How far have they got? About 50 metres. ADZ's dropped out. Catherine, nice kick towards the line. It's about 100 metres, I'm sorry. It was further out than I thought. Right, so I've had to flick away, but Catherine just held on ahead of ADZ thanks to a very strong kick right on the line. Great job, Catherine. I think that's a win in the seas. So, fantastic. I had a feeling this course would suit you, actually. So, excellent job. So, we've got S. I'm going to try and pronounce your name here. Tvade. I have no idea. Vade. Do you even slightly pronounce the T? Is it like a really soft T, like Svade? Or is it just Vade or Vede? I'm going to stick with Vade, I think. S. Vade. Anyway, S. Vade coming up to the line. Final straight. 2.5 watts per kilogram. A few hundred metres to go. Nice strong performance. Although, hang on a second. Look in your rearview mirror, my friend. You have an 8-second gap to... Who is this? Is that Niall? You can see him in the background there. It's 4.6 watts per kilogram. It looks like Niall Simpson to me. Indeed it is, but S-Vade is going to hold on to that one. Good job, my friend. And Niall coming through to take what I believe is second place. Sorry I couldn't stay with you, Niall, but I've got to flick away before you hit the line. I believe that was second place in the league. And third place looks like it's going to go to Rickard Johansson, who I think is the current leader of the Seas, depending on how these points shake out, and also depending on how the bonus points, which direction the bonus points go in. So I think we had a situation in the last race where Niall and Rickard ended up on the same points. So one took the win, and the other took second place, but the bonus points. And I wonder if we're going to have a similar situation here. So we'll wait and see. Rickard coming up to the line, a few hundred metres to go, and we've got a very tight battle going on behind, it would seem, between Hans-Petter Summerson and Sean Lowe. So I will flick over to that one very shortly. Let's just see Rickard a little bit further. Okay, Rickard right up to the line there. So we've jumped back now to Sean Lowe, and there's Hans just 3-4 seconds ahead. So let's get a look at Hans to see if Sean's got any kind of kick. I think Hans had a really good surge of power coming out of that bend there when he was sort of slightly out of sight for Sean. So he sort of utilised that to put the power up a little bit, and he's managed to pull away. And now up into the very nearly 6 watts per kilogram, just to make sure of that. Great job, Hans. I think he's pulled enough of a gap. It's only 10 seconds, so anything can happen. I don't know if Sean's got an aero or anything he can play with there to try and pull himself back in. But it does look like Hans is going to take this one. This is quite good fun commentating on the race on a recording after it's happened, or whilst not actually participating. Although it does make me wish I was on a bike, but it's quite good just watching you guys. But I've got a feeling the editing is going to be an absolute nightmare. So you might have to bear with me for a while. Right, Hans, coming up to the line. Great job. Flick away, get back to Sean, who looked like he knew that any kind of chase towards Hans at the line there would have been a pretty futile effort. But great ride, Sean. Nice one. That's a lovely handful of points for you, my friend. Then we have A Austria coming up in the B category, and only 5 seconds ahead of someone from Team Type 1. I'm going to guess that's Mark Deal without even clicking on him. Let's have a look. Wow, here we go. Whoever it is. Yeah, it's Mark from Team Type 1. Only 2 seconds behind. Is he going to be able to nick it on the line? Come on. Oh, hey, Austria, look at that. 4.7, 4.9 watts per kilogram. Mark's still kicking in. 4.8. Not going to be enough, Mark. Unlucky, buddy. Good effort. I love to see people keeping the ride in front of them honest all the way to the line anyway, even if they don't quite make it. Then we've got Mr. Potts, D. Potts. Great ride coming up next in the C category, I believe, Mr. Potts. If you'd be so kind as to put your category in your name next time just to make this easier. I know actually for you guys it must be showing next to your names within the race, but for me I can't see it. Over the line anyway for D. Potts, then D. Harmsworth straight after. And I've had to jump back. Sorry, Mr. Harmsworth, I didn't get much of a view of you, but it was all very close that I was going to jump out the event module. So we now have I. That's as much as I know. And we've got I coming up to the line, but we've got a close battle with Jim Pocock and Jack J. Gorilla Peterson. Here we go. Well done, I, over the line. Let's have a look at these guys. Way up in the power. Here we go. J. Gorilla. Oh, my God, I'm going to have to flick away. I'm not going to get to see who wins this one. It's Jim Pocock. It's Jim Pocock. It's Jim Pocock. Jim held it. Wow. Great effort, Gorilla. Great effort, Jim. Managing to hold the Gorilla off. Good stuff. I wish I managed to just watch that race all the way through. It looked like it would have been a good one. So we've now got A. Kim coming up to the line. No, we don't. Yes, we do. A. Kim just came over the line. So we've now got Michael Jost coming up to the line. Looks like he's going to be our next finisher. He's got 30-second lead over Len Capel. And then we've got Oliver Higby, Jane Coates, and I think... I'm judging. Right, someone Menage a Trois. I'm going to have an Australian with Menage a Trois in their name. I'm going to have a crack at that being Dave Crook without even clicking on his name. Dave comes up with very creative name extensions for these races. Just check out his 2-for-1 names that he manages to invent every week. And I was actually going to call this race the Menage a Trois, but managed to restrain myself very slightly. Anyway, back to the race and the racers. Mr. Jost, home straight, powering down 2.5 watts per kilogram, make that 3 watts per kilogram. Looking good on his green Trek, coming up to the line. I've just spotted what looks like could be a very, very close fight between P. Somerville and Rank Visser, and Noel McGrath, and Dave Crook. Whoa, that's going to be a tricky one to call at the line. Right, let's see Michael come up right up to the finish and click away just before he gets there. Oh, powerful sprint to the line. Good job, Michael. And here's Len rolling down the straight. He can relax slightly. His job is done. Great effort, Len. Again, apologies. I've sort of lost any idea of which positions these are, but I think we're still in the sort of top 5 or 6 of the C category. at this stage. Apologies if I'm completely off, but I think we've had most, if not all, of the Bs, and now we're getting the first sort of handful of Cs. Massive power from Len, charging towards the line. Good job, my friend. And we're going to have to flick away to Oliver. And Oliver's got a 42-second gap over Jane. Right on, Oliver. Well done, Oliver. All the way to the line. Now we've got Jane, who has managed to gap Dave Crook. So she obviously had a really strong finish to the volcano section, because unless I'm going mad, it looked like that. It looked like Jane, Dave were all very closely bunched together, but Dave, Jane, and El Camacho all looked very close last time I looked. But it looks like Jane's had a good finish here. So well done, Jane. I'm really looking forward to our next race, which is the Team Type 1 Special, and we'll be rocking the Team Type 1 jerseys in basically in recognition of World Diabetes Day. Yeah, here comes Dave Crook, Menage a Trois. And he's managed to put 25 seconds over El Camacho as well. So good strong finish, Dave. All the way to the line, Mr. David Crook. Good job, my friend. And straight back to El Camacho, 18 seconds further back. Strong ride, El Camacho. Thank you very much for joining. Great race. And I'm going to have to flick away from you to C. McGill, I think is the next rider up. And let's have a look. Whoa, hello. C. McGill, A. Sevilla, and V. Derogy. Ride on, you three. And this is going to be fun to watch and extremely frustrating that, as always, I'm going to have to jump away just before you actually hit the line. Looks like A. Sevilla, sorry, no, V. A. Sevilla, no, V. Derogy has taken the lead. A. Sevilla up in the 8s. Strong race, A. Sevilla. And A. Sevilla, you are the brother of Thomas Sevilla, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know if I actually have you down as registered for the league. So, oh man, this is a strong race. C. McGill's nicked it on the line. It looks like we got, yes, it looks like it was C. McGill, A. Sevilla, and V. Derogy to the line. Great sprint, guys. And we jump back to Mr. McLaren, who has a very comfortable lead of 3 minutes and 14 seconds. So Paul McLaren can just roll this one through and just sit up and relax. But I tell you, the guys behind can't relax. We've got Keith Denton, Paul Somerville, and myself apparently at 3:44 as well. Not quite sure how that's working. That could be one of my best results if it stays like that. Then we've got Ringvisser, and who was that behind Ringvisser? Brian Roden? No, we've already had Brian over the line, haven't we? Anyway, sorry, I was waffling there as Mr. McGill came over the line. So we've now got... Mr. McLaren came over the line. So we've now got Keith Denton next to come over. I'll be interested to see which trainer Keith used tonight. I know he and Catherine are sort of sharing trainer duties with the Drivo, and I forget what your other trainer is, but I'm hoping you'd sorted out all your problems that you had with the Drivo, because I'm not sponsored by Elite or anything, but my Drivo's been absolutely brilliant. I've loved it so far, and it was really disappointing to hear that obviously you were having problems and weren't getting on with it, but hopefully you managed to iron out whatever the niggles were. And if Catherine's on the Drivo, it certainly seemed to work well for her tonight. So, so you've got to step your game up, Keith. I know this was a hilly one, and that tends to fall into Catherine's strengths a little more than yours maybe, but which will be interesting to see when we hit Mont Ventoux, my friend. Whether Mr. Denton is chasing Mrs. Denton up the hill. I'll probably be too far back to even see, so I'll have to just hear about it when I get to the top, if I get to the top. So home stretch for Keith. Last couple of 100 metres, looking good on the Tron bike. Again, I've lost count of where this would be in the race, but I still think we're talking top 10. And right behind Keith, or well, 1 minute and 10 seconds behind Keith. As soon as he comes to the line, I will flick to Mr. Robert Mickelson. Good job, Robert. Another strong finish for Robert. I don't know if you guys all know you're on camera, so I just decided to put on a little bit of a show as you hit the line. But up in the 8 watts per kilogram, really strong sprint to the line for Robert. Great job, my friend. And now we go back to Renk Visser, who is just at the other end of that straight, just coming down now. And he was 50 seconds behind Robert and has a similar gap back to Joel Walker behind him. What bike's that you're on there, Renk? Is that the Trek? The sort of climbing one, whatever it's called? Actually, I said the gap was back to Joel Walker. It looks like we've got Percy Santamaria and Ryan Johansson sandwiched in between. No, Joel's now ahead of Johansson. Right, let's flip back to Percy. Yeah, Percy definitely is the next one in line, and Joel Walker is there. He's just 19, 20 seconds behind Percy. So let's watch Percy coming up to the line, kicking out an aero on his way down the hill. Solid watts, high twos. Apologies for singling you out before, Percy, but I hope you take that as the compliment it was intended as. It really was just that where you were was kind of where I aspired to be in terms of my power output and my finishing positions. I will continue to I will continue to target you, I'm afraid. Right, Percy was over the line very nicely. Back to Joel Walker. Good job. Only a handful of seconds behind Percy. Looking extraordinarily muscular there, Joel. Either Zwift is being very kind or you've been in the gym. Right, Ryan Johansson, 40-something seconds back from Joel and kicking out an aero, 3.5 watts per kilogram on the way down the hill. Good stuff. And Ryan Johansson with a strong kick and an aero all the way to the line, and we jump straight back to Paul Somerville. So a bit of a gap here. Paul's just coming down out of the mountain climb. So there obviously was a split, a reasonably large split at some point during the earlier on in the race, which has put this group all still reasonably bunched, but albeit sort of bunched about 3 minutes further back from the previous group. Okay, so it's actually P. Quaresma is the next rider to come up to the line. Apologies for not spotting you sooner, my friend. Loving that look with the neon pink dogma. Maybe a slight clash with our team colours of the orange jersey, but I don't think the dogmas ever look so good. That's a wicked looking bike. Right, so yeah, P. Quaresma, final straight, and Paul Somerville is in fact about 2 minutes back from Mr. Quaresma. Right on Mr. Quaresma, really strong finish, 3 watts per kilogram, coming down this home straight, last 100 metres to go. Really good job. Well done, my friend. I hope to see you in more races going forwards. And let's quickly flip back to Mr. Somerville's on this tunnel now, coming away from the volcano and towards the final straight. Then it's reasonably, no it's not, I keep seeing my own name and thinking I'm in this race. I was going to say it's reasonably tight between Noel McGrath and Marcus Neal, but I think Noel's got that one, if I'm honest. It is tight, looking back between Jason Arblaster and Darren Hunter. They're both locked together, it would seem, at this point. So I will jump back to that in a minute. Let's keep an eye on Paul now as he finishes up his race. I heard a rumour that there's a really big climb being added, possibly this winter, and we were having a discussion on the forum the other day about whether Zwift needed another big climb. It's always nice to have the option, but it did sort of draw my attention to the fact that other than when we're doing these races on a route that includes the volcano climb, I forget it's there. It's not something I would ever sort of think to do, if I'm honest. Every now and again, if I'm in the mood for climbing, I'll automatically look to do the epic KOM or even Box Hill climb, to be honest. But I do forget that the volcano one is there. That's not to say there's anything wrong with it. It just never springs to my mind. So if they are going to do a really long, even more epic climb than the existing epic KOM, I hope it's something. I'm not sure how they'll do it, but I don't want it to be too sort of quirky and sort of gamified. But I think there's going to have to be something very different about it to make it to give it any kind of chance of being popular. I think people tend to head to the mountain very scarcely anyway, but like I say, it's always nice to have it there. The more options, the better. But yeah, I heard that's coming hopefully this winter, along with an extension to London possibly. So we'll wait and see. I'm not going to pretend to have any kind of inside knowledge on Zwift. I'm picking up this information usually later than you guys do anyway. So we'll wait and see. But anyway, here we go. Paul, Mr. Somerville, coming up to the line. Good job, my man. Paul in the B category. I'm not sure what position in the B category that is, but strong ride nonetheless. And as you hit the line, I flick back to the next rider coming, which is... It is Noel McGrath, isn't it? And he's 40 seconds ahead of Darren, who's now managed to pull about 30 seconds ahead of Jason, our blaster, from what I can see. Again, I'll say I'm really sorry if I'm missing anyone's ride out here. It's absolutely my intention to try and get, not just in this ride, but throughout the series, as much coverage of as many different riders as I possibly can. I don't want anybody to feel that they're less important than anyone else, including the guest riders. I'm not trying to give preference to the league riders at all, although obviously I need to keep a closer eye on them from a points perspective. But yeah, I'm really sorry if I've missed anybody. This is quite a tricky one. I'm literally just having to go by the names and their distance covered on the sideline, on the side panel, just to see who's who and who's where. Don't have Zwift power for this race either, which is entirely my fault. I completely forgot to request it. I really hope we can get the automation sorted at some point, because that will certainly make it easier for me and for the guys at Zwift Power if our races, as soon as they appear on the Zwift event module, if they then automatically are set up on Zwift Power as well. But this one, it just completely slipped my mind, I'm afraid, to get it added. I will make sure that's rectified for the next one. But I think Zwift Power would be a useful tool, given that I'm not going to get to see a results screen at the end of this. So, oh man, this could be a horrible mess. So I'm going to apologise in advance that the league table that I first publish may end up changing 2 or 3 times before we actually get anywhere near what it actually should be. But I'll do my best. So here is Mr. Noel McGrath coming up to the finish line, looking strong, wearing some questionable socks, I must say. What's happened to your compulsory orange Team WKG socks, Mr. McGrath? Only joking. That's quite interesting to keep an eye on people's socks, actually. Let's have a look. What we got here from Jason. Even more questionable. He's gone for that. They look like the... I think I mentioned this before. They look a little bit like the Rafa Data socks, but a little bit more Argyle. So Jason, anyway. Jason, our blaster, is our next rider. He is on the finishing straight. And he has... Must have been something slightly confusing about the times there. Maybe they were crossing over on the same section of track, because it looked like he was stuck together with Darren Hunter, but Darren's actually a few minutes further back. So I think that's possibly what happened there. They're sort of crossing over somewhere on the volcano circuit. So Jason's going to, I think, round off... Darren is, I think, going to round off the C category with Jason coming in just ahead. There's another race kicking off there by Rob Clark. Right on Jason, and please don't bring those socks with you to France when we go, because they will not go very well with your kit. There we go, last 100 metres for Jason, rolling up to the line. I say rolling, he's suddenly nice kick of power again, good job, and we click back to Darren, who I think is going to round things off for us nicely. There, look, that's what I'm talking about with socks. Orange socks, orange stripe on your shoes, match your orange and black jersey and black bibs. Perfect. You're a picture of WKG style there, Mr. Hunter. Right, so Darren now on the finishing straight to round the race off for us. Great job, Darren. All that will remain for me after this is the not so simple task of trying to edit this mess together into some kind of vlog, or something that resembles a vlog. But I will try and sort out the results first. I think I'm going to have to, once I've edited this, I'm going to have to go back over it 3 or 4 times just to try and make sure I've got everybody's finishing order correct. I will check out Strava as well for the bonus points. And anybody, incidentally, if anyone has any screenshots of their volcano, the volcano KOM times, if they feel that might, if they feel they might be sort of near the sharp edge of that, then please do send me your screenshots, because that might help me to work those points out. Again, apologies, a bit of a messy one. It was always going to be quite tricky to do. It's nice watching you guys rather than racing, or it's easier to watch rather than race and watch. But there you go, Darren over the line. Great job, my man. I don't need to click away because I'm pretty sure we're done. Yeah, so I think the hard work for me starts now, trying to turn this into something that you can actually watch. So thank you all very, very much for riding. Thank you very much for watching. I will get this out as soon as I possibly can, but like I say, I think it could take a little bit of time, and I will get the league table and the race results updated as quickly as possible. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. Catch you on the next one.